Aubrey, how are you? Are you having a
I
good
am
week?
great. Yes, I am having a good week. I was just posting in our circle community and reading all the students' comments, and it's just so fun. I love it. I love to be in
We
there.
have the best platform now, guys, for any student in any of our courses. They get to be a part of this All Ears English community. And it's like our own, like, social media platform, but it's just for all ears English people, and it's so
I
good.
love it. Yeah.
We're gonna talk more about that towards the end of today's episode, so stay tuned for that, guys, to find out how you could be in these communities as well. But we are answering a question today from a listener who emailed us. Aubrey, can you read the question, please?
Yes, this is from Kashif. And they said, first of all, thanks for considering my request. And my question is regarding speaking. How can fluency as well as vocabulary at the same time be improved? Regards.
Yeah.
Mm,
I love this question because we just talked about this yesterday on the show, like, how you can do more than one thing at once, like, we're not
yes.
just learning vocabulary like yesterday, we're learning chunks of language, we're learning sentences, we're learning things in context. So today, we're going to give you 3 activities that improve your speaking vocabulary and fluency at the same time with just one activity.
Yes, and we also want to make sure you didn't miss if you are wanting to improve your speaking scores, scroll up if you missed episode 1312 last week. How long are speaking part 3 answers? Got a great question about how long those should be, timing issues for part 3. So if you're not following, you're missing some amazing episodes. So be sure to follow the
Epos.
podcast episodes. Don't miss these episodes, guys.
That sounds like that should be like Aussie slang for episodes.
Right? I think we
Um,
should invent it.
we
It's going to be
should.
West Coast slang for episodes.
But no, that was a great episode 1312 about speaking part 3, because Aubrey and I gave like model spontaneous answers and timed each other. So you guys can see like how they can be shorter than a
Hmm.
minute, right? It's
Yeah.
not about the time itself, it's about the quality of the answer. So definitely go back and listen to that episode if you missed it. All right. So Kashif emailed us, and I actually just answered him this morning. And the activity I sent him is this first one, and I promised him we would give more on the show. So
Nice.
let's talk about the first activity that Kashif already got because I emailed him. Aubrey, can you describe this first activity, please?
Yes. So, step one is to get 1 to 2 pages of text in English. Step two is to read it silently and choose 2 new words to learn.
Mhm.
This is key, guys. I think if you have 2 pages of text, you may be tempted to add 30 words, like every new
Exactly.
word, and that's too much. It's impossible to get to learn fluency and add a few new vocab words if you're checking the dictionary for definitions every 3 minutes. You're not going to hit both. So if you instead choose 2 new words to learn, you're going to be able to improve both of these skills.
Exactly. So here's your choices, guys. You can limit the number of words you choose, like say 2 or 3 words, and you can actually learn them and use them on your exam. Or you can choose all the words you want and learn none of them. Those are
That's
your 2 options. All
red
right.
pill or blue pill. Only one is right.
Step one, like Aubrey said, choose 1 to 2 pages of text. I think a novel is better for this. I think reading from like the newspaper is kind of boring. So I would choose a novel in that case. And then you read it silently, right in your mind, choose 2 new vocabulary words. And then what is the last step?
Yeah, then you read it out loud and focus on smooth pronunciation, right? Don't hesitate to go back and read a sentence again if you feel like you tripped over it a little bit and could do
Yeah,
it more smoothly, right? The
that's good
goal is
advice.
to get to that native natural pronunciation.
That's good advice. Yeah. So the reading out loud, guys, is a fantastic way to improve fluency. So again, you're doing vocab and fluency in one activity. All right. So here's another activity, guys. This is a fun one. Um, find a list of conversation starters online. There are thousands, guys. Just search conversation starters. And then you can look at the entire list. There's going to be a long list of questions. So some of them are pretty simple, like, what was the last movie you saw? But there's always going to be interesting questions on these lists with new vocabulary. Aubrey, what are some examples of conversation starter questions?
Yeah, for example, do you think you're an introvert or an extrovert? Or what is the most rewarding part of your career? These have interesting vocabulary.
Yeah. So introvert and extrovert. Again, like you might recognize these words, but you might not actually use them.
Mhm.
Making yourself use the new vocabulary. That's how we are able to use it on the speaking exam. You can't just read it and then it pops out on test day. You have to make yourself use fancy words. I'm an introvert, surprisingly. I know I've talked about this on the show before, but an introvert gets their energy gets drained when they're around other people, and an extrovert actually gets energy from being around other people. So it's not about ability to be around other people. It's just about, do you get or give your energy? And then rewarding as an adjective. What is the most rewarding part of your career? I never hear students use this word like as an adjective, right? How can we use
Mhm.
rewarding as an adjective?
Yeah, so anything you're sharing that is helpful for you, that has brought you benefits, that has brought you rewards, right? You could talk about spending time with friends or family and say, I find this time so rewarding and I know I need to do it more.
Exactly, exactly. So you could see, guys, just those two example questions, already great vocab. All right, so after we have chosen our questions with great vocab, what do we do next?
Yeah. So then you're going to hang up 5 or 6 of these questions around your house, places that you visit often. And whenever you see them, you must answer them out loud using new vocabulary. So this is a really fun way to challenge yourself, but to keep yourself learning throughout the day when you go get a
Mhm.
snack, when you run to the bathroom, right? Oh, gotta keep learning in here too.
I have a friend who writes on her bathroom mirror a lot, like little like mantras and motivational messages and stuff. And I wish I
I
did
love
that.
that.
I love that idea. But go ahead, guys, write on your bathroom mirror. Put some
Yes.
vocab and questions on there. It'd be fun.
Totally, get some Post-its, right? Or put up
Yep.
however you need to do
Make
it.
it fun.
Make it fun, keep yourself learning so it's not just like, "Okay, 30 minutes while I'm by my computer," right? Keep your brain active and engaged by switching it up.
Totally. All right. We have one last activity for you. And this we teased at in the beginning of today's episode. Um, find a supportive, positive community, right? Studying online can be it can lead to like what word am I looking for when you're like alone and separate? There's
There's loneliness,
loneliness? Let's just say loneliness.
lack
It
of
can
motivation,
Yes, it can lead to really feeling just
solidarity.
separate,
Yeah,
from what's happening around you, and you lose motivation. But we know as busy adults, you guys have to be learning online, right? We don't have time
yeah,
to go to classrooms every day, but IELTS is a big job and you need to study daily, right?
exactly.
5 days a
Right,
week. So, we need a supportive online community that you can trust and that you can actually learn from, right? Not just a community of students who are trading myths and bad advice maybe, but like ones that like teachers are in actually so you could learn
exactly.
stuff.
That's
Um
really the difference, right? If you are just reading forums that are all students and people online and there's no expert, no one really knows either way,
yeah,
you don't know what you can trust.
right.
But that's why we have intentionally created this community where language learners are in there, they're all motivated, they're all supporting each other, but we as teachers are also in there answering questions, making sure there's no incorrect advice, right? And
Mhm.
just keeping it supportive and positive because that's us. That we thrive in
'Cause
this
that's us.
environment of positivity, right? So
So,
yes,
yeah.
go ahead, yeah.
No, I was just going to ask, so how do these communities build fluency and vocabulary?
Yeah, so there are a few different things, right? We're creating social events where you can meet speaking partners and learn and practice speaking in English. So first of all, we have fluency parties now, which are so fun
Every month. Yep.
every month, and we are in there. Lindsay and I, me and Jessica, our team is in there, and we play English speaking games. You learn vocabulary, and
Awesome.
then we have breakout rooms where you practice using it
So
with
good.
in conversations and deeper connection questions, right? Where we're really talking about, like, for example, in this most recent one, we taught the idiom fit as a fiddle,
Oh,
and then
fun.
we had some deep thought-provoking questions about, like, should people be more active? Like, are you fit as a fiddle? What could you do to be more physically active? What could societies do to encourage citizens to be more active? And it ended up being such a great, rich conversation.
That's speaking part 1 and speaking part 3 right there. Like, those
Yes,
questions could be on the
right.
IELTS exam. So, not only are there these fluency parties where, again, like vocab and fluency, that's all that is right there. There's also open conversation clubs now. And every student, everybody in our courses has access to these parties and these clubs.
Yes, and the Open Conversation Club is every week, and we have them at all different times of the day. I actually did one Friday night at 10 p.m.
Oh,
my
wow.
time. So, like, people across the world were able to come, and, because that can be tricky where we're all over the world, our community, right?
Yeah.
And then you're just able to meet speaking partners, answer these conversation starters like we just shared, get to know people, and just practice speaking English with the goal right now of passing your IELTS exam, of
Mhm.
increasing fluency, and also just of getting to know other people who are learning English.
That's so awesome. And besides that, Aubrey is in these groups posting vocabulary words with definitions and interesting questions so you can use it in context. So you're learning vocabulary at least a couple times a week in any of these groups by just
Yep.
visiting and seeing Aubrey's posts.
Exactly, right? Just today I taught "in the weeds,"
Oh, fun.
this idiom, which is so fun. It means, like, off topic. You could totally use it on IELTS speaking. If you say, like, "Maybe I'm in the weeds here a little bit, but," and then just share something related, right? So all of the vocabulary you're going to learn there is going to be helpful on IELTS.
That's so awesome. So again, these opportunities are open to students who are in any of our courses, guys, but we know you need IELTS. So check it out, guys, allearsenglish.com/KEYS. And we'll see you in those fluency parties.
Yes, awesome. Excited to see you there.
Awesome. All right, Aubrey, have a great rest of the week.
You too. Bye.
Bye.